One time, a grade school class, someone asked the question, who are the saints? And a child answered, aren't those the people that the light shines through?
St. Mary's Church serves the community of Potsdam, New York. The construction of this beautiful building was completed in 1900. Over 100 years later, the stained glass windows that add light and color to the sanctuary had never had a major renovation. It began as a restoration of just the stained glass, but as the project progressed, it became apparent that many of the window frames had deteriorated, including the massive 15-foot by 23-foot rose window. The church called on the expertise of Marvin Windows & Doors Signature Services to recreate the exquisite woodwork detailing in the frames.
But Signature really, they won't say no. You know, they want to know more about the project. They want to know the size of the project, what does it entail, the history of the project. You know, because it's a very proud thing to be part of something like St. Mary's Church, to be part of that history and to be able to recreate these frames. But the consulting, the coordination, the ability to go out there and change something if we need to while they're manufacturing, that's what Signature brings. So we kind of pawned around, and we wanted to be able to put up numbers, so we kind of sketched some windows, sent it to the factory, and tried to produce budget numbers. Even at that, we knew there was a lot that went into it. At that point in time, that's when both the factory and Marvin Windows in New York and the lumber company Malone Lumber had thought it would be best to contact the MacNeils.
MacNeil architects specialize in historic renovation. They've worked with Marvin Signature Services for years, collaborating on the most challenging projects. For this project, the MacNeils used a variety of methods to produce the most accurate drawings for the new frames.
The challenge is that the window frames, generally speaking, are not symmetrical. And that's why we use exact measurement, because if we are recording, say, 14 to 15 window frames, we will find no two exactly alike. Principally, we use three methods: hand measurement, tachyometry, and close-range photogrammetry. Tachyometry is survey. It goes back to the Roman time period and was revolutionized in the 1600s with the invention of survey instruments. Essentially, it's measurement by angle. Today, we use what we call a total station, equipped with an REDM, a reflectorless electronic distance meter, which is a laser beam which goes out and reflects off the object and returns and gives us an object in space, or a point of a measurement in space. Now, close-range photogrammetry is a measurement system that goes back to the 1800s with the invention of photography. And essentially, it's the ability to measure off of photographs. So we call this remote sensing technology, where we can stand on the sidewalk and take a series of photographs, and through modern computer software, directly measure from the images.
Marvin Signature Services worked for a year researching, consulting with the church board, and collaborating with the glass restoration company before beginning construction on the window frames. Once the team at Marvin had the detailed measurement data, they could move forward with the meticulous production process. BIM and CAD/CAM technology, cyber models, and cutter designs were downloaded directly to Marvin's CNC equipment. The fabrication of these historic designs was paperless. 816 individual pieces were precisely cut and joined to create the rose window. It had to fit perfectly in the opening and accept the original stained glass. Signature Services took great care to make this window to last another 100 years. Because the frames were so large, Marvin Signature Services designed them to have the utmost structural integrity.
So we layered up pieces of mahogany to get to that jam depth, and each layer created a profile. This also created strength, because in these layers we staggered the joints to make sure the window was very structurally sound. The installation of the smaller windows, meaning the type A and B windows, how they were shipped in one piece from the factory and crated, and they were picked up with a forklift and fed through the exterior of the opening and then pulled back to go against the stone.
The rose window was so large that it had to be shipped in two pieces. Marvin designed the frame so that it was split down the middle and could be assembled on site by the installation contractor. Of course, it still had to be installed.
They just kind of inched it in, and as they were inching it in, they were squaring it up, making sure that it was plumb and level. and making sure that it was sealed tight. And then, of course, they had to cut and put the columns on the exterior. I wasn't worried about it in the least bit. I thought it was going to fit perfectly. In fact, I knew it was going to fit perfectly, and it did. There was absolutely no issues at all when I got to the job site.
The glass would be added in later by the stained glass company that restored it. Through the entire process, the congregation at St. Mary's has continued to hold services, weddings, and funerals in the church.
Everything worked very well because I think there was such a spirit of collaboration and cooperation. I think that the finished product is extraordinary. And certainly, I think the people here in the parish are, and I know, as a matter of fact, through conversation, that they're really very, very pleased, very delighted with the work that has been accomplished.